All right, good morning, guys. Just wanted to go ahead and do a quick video introducing this next cycle. Okay, so for those of you who've been with us for a while, you know this. For those of you who are newer, I probably told you at least at one point, but let's go ahead and document it in video so that you guys can refer back to it if you have any questions. All right. So if you are new to the programming here, or if you've been with us for a while, you know or you're about to learn that we program in 12-week macro cycles or mesocycles. Okay. And so basically that means we look at 12 weeks and we break it up to try and achieve a specific goal. In our case, most of the time that goal is to become stronger, more powerful, more athletic. Okay. However, we can manipulate exactly what we do within those 12-week periods to make that happen. And as a programmer, that's sort of my petri dish to analyze new techniques, give them a shot and see if they're working for us and to ensure that we're progressing. And as we've talked about before, we just got done with a testing week. We bookend those 12-week programming blocks with testing periods to assess whether we are or not making progress, and then we can figure out why we are or are not making progress. Okay? So that's kind of the gist of how that works for us. Each of those 12-week periods is broken down into 4-week pieces of programming, okay, where we have a 3-on, 1-off style. Okay, so that means we're using the first 3 weeks of that 4-week period to increase intensity, to increase workload in order to create that stress response, that adaptation to make you guys stronger, fitter, more athletic. And then we use that 4th week as a deload to kind of bring back the intensity and allow you to kind of recover a little bit, as well as to allow those new strengths, those new improvements in fitness to sort of show themselves, to manifest. Okay? So that's kind of how that works around here. So now with that, the next 12 weeks are going to be a little bit unique with respect to the rest of the year. Okay? And that is because the CrossFit Games Open is coming up in the end of February. All right? Now, I'll start off by saying we are not a CrossFit gym. I'm not trying to be, okay? But we do have, we are an inclusive community where we have many people trying to improve themselves in one strength endeavor or another, okay? Whether that's powerlifting, weightlifting, strongman competitions, CrossFit. So our goal is to go ahead and help all of those people succeed in whatever sport it is, or help them meet their fitness goals, whatever they might be, okay? So now, like I said before, we're not a CrossFit gym, but we do have a lot of people who are looking to do well in the CrossFit Games Open, or who are looking to at least compete in the CrossFit Games Open. So I'm not going to go into what the Open is here. I'll provide a link for that so that you guys can learn some more if you want to. But the gist of it is that it's a 5-week qualifier where there's one workout a week, one CrossFit workout a week. All right. So now, in the CrossFit Games Open, there are several movements that we don't do in here very frequently. For reasons, again, I'm not going to get into programming related, okay? But you're going to need to be good at them if you want to compete in the CrossFit Games Open and do well, or at least be able to do the workouts the way you'd like to be able to do them. So what you're going to start seeing over the next about 2 programming cycles, because we have about 8 weeks before the CrossFit Games Open start, you're going to start seeing some of those movements being layered into our Part Cs or our conditioning pieces, as well as in the extra credit and possibly even the skill work or in some of our Part Bs, okay? Now, the way that this is going to work is if it's in the regular part of the program, so like your A, B, or C, it's going to be something that we are all going to do, all right? Now, if it's included in that, it's going to still be working towards the goal of helping us improve our athleticism and our strength. Okay, so it's not going to take away from the main foundation that we have as a gym here, right? I'm not going to allow it to derail our priorities just because we have the CrossFit Games Open coming up. But with that said, there's no reason we can't layer some of those things into our programming to help the people that do want to compete in the CrossFit Games, but also be able to benefit those who are not, all right? So there's a lot of facets of CrossFit that we don't do all the time that can help our fitness, all right? I'm not trying to make the argument otherwise. So with that, you're going to start seeing some of those things being layered in. That's what I'm trying to get to with point number 1. Programming, we're going to see a little bit more CrossFit-style workouts. Okay, so we're going to see some of those skills being layered in. We're also going to see the Part Cs be a little bit different to allow us to prepare for those workouts in the Open. All right. The second thing I want to touch on is that it's nearly impossible to program for CrossFit, for a CrossFit competition, or to help somebody improve their ability in CrossFit without seeing a high amount of volume or a high amount of work with the shoulders, as well as the hips and knees, ankles. Okay? And that's because we do a lot of things by putting weight over our head, and there's a lot of movements that have you hanging from a bar. Okay? So it's just a very shoulder-intensive way of working out. So you're going to see a little bit more shoulder volume over the next 8 weeks than we would otherwise see in a standard time of the year for us. Right? You're also going to see a little bit more squatting volume because we're not only going to have squatting in the main part of our workout in the part A's as a strength piece, you're also going to see a little bit more of it into the part C's, into your conditioning pieces. All right? We tend to not do that during the majority of the year because we don't want any squatting in the part C's to take away from the gains we're trying to make or the adaptations we're trying to create in the part A's. But that said, with the CrossFit Open coming up, we have to go ahead and incorporate those into some of our conditioning pieces because you're going to need to be able to do it if you want to succeed in that. All right? And there are benefits to it. I'm not trying to say that if you're not interested in the CrossFit Games that you're going to see, you're going to regress at all in any way because we're putting those in the part C's. It's not the case at all. All right? Just want to communicate the fact that we're going to see a little bit more volume in the squatting and those part C's and also a little bit more shoulder volume. So with that, we really need you guys to communicate to us as coaches if you're starting to feel any pain, tightness, any sort of issues coming up at all in those problem areas. All right? So I want to do a good job as a coach of being proactive and making sure that you guys are feeling healthy because it's not worth seeing you get injured or seeing any sort of pain or anything like that if just for the sake of being better at some of these workouts. So if you're starting to feel some of those things, let me know before the workout starts and I'm going to go ahead and manipulate the workout for you to ensure that you're not going to see any sort of accumulation of pain or anything like that. Okay? So as always, this should be an all year round thing. But more so now that we're going to start seeing a little bit of these more CrossFit style movements come up, please communicate with us and let us know if there's anything lingering that we need to know about so that we can ensure that we're keeping you healthy, keeping you safe. All right. So with that, let me know if you guys have any questions. I'll be available in class to answer anything as well. Might be a little bit faster than messaging me. But either way, I want to be transparent with you guys, so let me know if there's anything that we need. All right. See ya.